Everyone, I'm Dr. Jessica Gray. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about my background because some of you have emailed me and asked me, can you clarify how you connect the two aspects of your work? So for those of you who do not know me, I'm Dr. Jessica Gray. I've got a doctorate in philosophy, looking at the sociological impact of people movements and how that influences their identity and how people then influence place. What does that even mean? So put simply, whoever you are and wherever you're listening to or listening from, just post in comments and send me an email, please, as to where you are listening from. Wherever you are in a place in the world. Without place, we do not exist. So my research looks at how that place in the world influences who you are, the person, especially when there's lots of change. And my research specifically looked at people movements. That's when there's lots of immigration. How do the people that have lived in a place for a number of years cope with that in terms of their identity, their self-esteem, their image, and recalibrating their place in the world? But my work experience looks at how this place in the world and how you feel creates a sense of who you are or lack thereof. So, for example, the people that I have worked with as a mindset transformer or a place shifter have told me how their place in the world have made them feel worthless, made them feel that they've had trauma that's sometimes been passed on from generation to generation. And then we would then work out how that can be unpacked and how the individual concerned can break that cycle of trauma and negativity to move and recraft their place in the world to one of productivity, to fulfillment in every way. Now, if you're listening to me, trauma doesn't occur just because somebody is economically deprived or just because somebody doesn't have enough educational qualifications or someone doesn't have physical or mental health. It occurs in every level of the spectrum, whether it's the person that was economically deprived that led them to depression, or the person that had everything financially in the world that led them to become an addict of Class A drugs. You are in the same spectrum, just in different ends of it. What I do as a mindset transformer or a place shifter is I unpack that with you, but only with you, because it can only change in your mind, not mine. And work out how we can reshape your place in the world. So that is something I work with on an individual basis with people. The second thing I do, which is also linked, but slightly different, is with organizations, whether it's private or public, or whether you are a government, national government, local government, or a regional authority. People that look after geographical places also need to look at not just marketing, but also look at how the policies that they put together, the plans that they put together, not just for today, but for the future, can influence the people that either live in that place, have lived in the place, are living in the place, and will live in the place in the future. And whether that is one of a place that enables people to thrive or disrupts people. And when people are disrupted, the place is disrupted. If you look at lots of theoretical principles, there's lots around that, place has also got mana, has its own agency, and that is indeed true. But in our limited human mind, it's us that create what we perceive about the place. And where our footprints are left behind, we carry with it, with our footprints, the DNA of the place or the places that we've been to, places that we've explored, places that we live in, places that we work in. So place is everything. And I am your place doctor. So I look at how your place in the world influences you as a person, how we can make that into one, redesign it, remanifest it into one that makes you lead a fulfilled, full life. And I also work with organizations, countries, towns, cities to see how they can create a place where you can live full and fulfilled lives. And people often sometimes ask me, I mean, of late, I have been commenting on the issues faced in the Middle East or West Asia, between Israel and Palestine, and the horrible, horrific terror attack on the 7th of October. And they have wondered, what is it to do with you? It is everything to do with me and people like me, and even all of us, really, because you have found that place being disrupted, a place that's created so many cultures being disrupted for various reasons. But at the end of it, there's a lack of trust, and there's a lot of fear, and there's a lot of mindset shifting that needs to change, to move from hate to love, from disrespect to respect, from selfishness to the willingness to share the whenua, the land, the bhumi. And all that is, the friction is happening because of the place and the mindsets of the people. But peace can also happen in places if the people of the place have a change in the mindset. And we are able to carve places where people can live in reasonable security and dignity. I'm always thankful for the place I live in, the land flowing, I say, with milk and honey in the furthest corners of the world, and long may it last. And one of the reasons why I sit in governance boards, to see how I can help these organizations empower the organization's place in the world, so they can then empower you, the person. So I hope that explains a little bit of what I do. And if you are interested in finding out more, please give me a call or a text or an email, and we can talk further. I'm also available for public speaking engagements on how organizations or individuals can empower their place in the world. For now, people, we need to remember that we're all here for but a season. If you're absolutely lucky, we might get to go around the sun 100 times in health without being slaves to our bodies or our minds. And 100, for now, people, it's not a big number. 100 circles around the world, around the galaxies. That's all you would get if you're absolutely lucky. So the most important thing you need to do then is to look at how you can empower your place in the world, and how you can empower others to live thriving lives. Because if other people live thriving lives, they will help you to live a thriving life. Do not underestimate your place in the world. One of the other questions people often ask me, coming from a family with a lot of medical doctors, that's those people that heal physical bodies, is, well, what do you do? Why, or your PhD is not in science, so that's not a real doctor then. Well, if you think the only medicines that people would ever need is to heal their physical bodies, then maybe you're right. But you know what? I've spoken to a lot of my medical colleagues, is that a lot of stress and a lot of physical sickness happen because we're not right up here. Unfortunately, my medical colleagues may not, in this world of sensitive speech, sensitivities, really, people I mean, doctors struggle to speak to people in a truthful fashion. Yes, we need to speak the truth and kindness, but some people need to be told that this here, I mean, between your ears, need to be changed just as much as this here. And a lot of this can be changed if this is changed. And that's where I come in. And there's a range of people that can help you achieve this. Not just a medical doctor like my cousins who can heal your body. Of course, if you're physically sick, go and see the doctor. But think to yourself whether you need to invest in how you can get right up here. And there are lots of people that do that. I'm not saying come to me, or you don't even need to go to anybody. Maybe search your soul, search your spirit within yourself. If you're terribly sick, go to a psychologist. These are people trained in psychology for many years. And there are various areas of psychology like behavioral psychology, clinical psychology. If I were to become a psychologist, I could have become a social psychologist. But look, I'm close to 50 years old. I'm not going to go and reinvest in doing another 10-year or a 6-year degree. But if that's your area of interest and you think you need a social psychologist, you go and speak to them. That is, these are people that look at your social interactions and how you interact with this world. Or clinical psychologists look at a range of things from your behavior to your fears to your phobias. Look for people that can help you. And some of you may not need a psychologist, you might need a counselor. And in that case, seek out whom might be best suited for you. Or you might need someone like myself who's a sociologist. Really, I look at the social aspects of us living in the world, because you see, we're all not living in an island. We all live or have to learn. Even if you don't like it, you've got to live with others in the world. So I look at the society, the environment, which is what really sociologists do on that level. But I've also brought that down to say, like, it's not enough to do, in my view, just that level. I want to be applied. And I appreciate those that do just purely research, because you need that too. But what I want to do is look at the principles of sociology, the principles of marketing, the principles of human behavior, and bring it down and apply it to everyday life, because we live in everyday life. And if we don't empower people, everyday people, to live full lives, we are not going to create societies that thrive, societies that look after the earth, the environment, the whenua, the land, societies that care not just for today but also the future, societies that don't live on hate but instead invest in love. And that's what I do. I don't believe there are many of us around that convert a high big picture stuff into something a smaller level. I know psychologists do that, but I don't know if there are lots of sociologists and people that have looked at sociological phenomenon that also then convert that into mindset transformations. And if you are one of them, I'd really love to collaborate with you. So give me a call. But whatever you are looking for, people, invest in it. Invest in the right people. Invest in the right principles. Invest in yourself and bring out the fullness of your life. So I know this video started out about what I do and why I do it, but it won't finish if I'm not encouraging you to go and live your best life, because you only get 100 times, if you're lucky, around the sun. And you need to make the most of it, because you see, there will only ever be one of you. Never ever again there will be anyone else like you. Now you can choose to do one of three things: be really horrible and do something awful and horrible, like that horrible crazy person that went and killed all those people in that mosque in Christchurch some years ago. Or you could be the other extreme, be really good, Mother Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, do something really great and positive with your life. Or you can be like, most of you might think, oh, most of us are neither here nor there, are we? We just like, we live, we exist, we walk, we talk, we drink, and then we're gone. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? You see, none of us are born to live a mediocre life. We're not just the earthworm just going round and round through the earth and then dies. We are human beings. We are born for greatness. Greatness does not mean arrogance. Greatness does not mean stubbornness. Greatness does not mean hate. Greatness does not mean narcissism, but greatness means living your full life. And that means finding your place in the world. So to answer my first question, what is it I do? I help you find your place in the world if you're ready. And I help organizations to create places that will enable you to thrive. This is Dr. Jessica Gray, your sociologist and mindset redesigner.